The Golden State Warriors started off the season very poorly and at times have looked like absolute doormats in the Western Conference, which has been very competitive throughout the entire season. And many analysts and many fans counted them out this season, considering the fact that their dynasty was over a foregone conclusion. And players like Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Chris Paul, and even Steph Curry at times have been looked down upon and have been considered washed by many fans. However, throughout the past 10 games or so, the Warriors have come back alive and resurrected their entire season. As of right now, they're 32-28 after being a number of games below 500 throughout much of the season, and in their last 10 games, they're 7-3. And even though they just got demolished by the Boston Celtics by 52 points, 140-88, I do think that this team can actually be competitive in the Western Conference. They are only 2.5 games back of an actual playoff spot, which is held by the Phoenix Suns right now. And if they continue to play as well as they are right now, they could easily catch the Lakers, Mavs, and Kings, who are all just above them in the standings. Klay Thompson has been a main factor of this resurgence for the Warriors, and that comes after he came off the bench on February 15th. In that game, he absolutely erupted for 35 points on 7 threes, and ever since then, he's been playing much better. He has had a couple of dud games, especially against the Celtics, but that was kind of the entire roster, and definitely wasn't his fault. And he's been definitely more consistent through the last few games playing off the bench. In his last 10 games or so, he's been much more consistent and been shooting much better from the three-point line. He's gotten his three-point percentage all the way up to 37.8%, which still isn't amazing, but throughout the last few games, he's been shooting 6 for 11, 4 for 10, and 4 for 9 from 3, all above 40%, and has looked really good and much better coming off the bench than he was in the starting lineup. Steph Curry is obviously going to be the same Steph Curry that we've always known him to be, and he's averaging almost 28 points a game on amazing shooting splits. But one guy that I did not expect to play as well as he is coming into this season is Brandon Podziemski. And I don't know if I said that right, but with his sudden rapid incline into a player that is playing solid minutes for the Warriors and actually averaging a good amount of points per game, he's a player that can be of a lot of value for the Warriors going forward into a playoff run and can be someone that is a key contributor in the future as well. He's averaging around 10 points a game on decent shooting splits, shooting about 36.6% from 3 and 50% from inside the three-point line. But if he can continue to improve and be a player that can be around for the Warriors for a while, he's going to be a guy that can really help the Warriors in a playoff push and in a playoff run if they can get into the playoffs. There are still major drawbacks to this team, however, and Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins have been two of those major problems. And while Andrew Wiggins is averaging 12.7 points per game, he is away on a serious family matter right now, and I hope nothing but the best for him. And I don't want to talk negative about him or his game right now, especially with a serious circumstance going on with him. But I will talk about Chris Paul right now, though, and he is a player that has not lived up to the expectations that he was expected when they traded Jordan Poole for him. He's only averaging about 9 points a game, and as of right now, he is averaging 7.1 assists per game, but he is not playing to the level that everybody expected him to play when he was traded to the Warriors. And while he is older and people were expecting him to decline, he just has not been the same player and has not been able to facilitate that second rotation offense as well as people had hoped. People had high hopes for him coming into the season that he would be able to really get Jonathan Kuminga going, but he just hasn't been that same player that he has been in years past. And while the numbers don't look bad on paper, he just hasn't had the impact on the court that people have grown accustomed to from him throughout his entire career. He is shooting 37% from 3 and 47.1% from the inside the arc, but he is just not having the same impact as he was expected. And I do think that if Chris Paul can get his game going and really start to play well in the back half of the season and into the playoffs, I do think that this second unit will be a lot better and the Warriors offense will be a lot less stagnant. And if he can start to get going, I do believe that the Warriors will be a really good offensive basketball team, even when Steph Curry goes off the floor. As of right now, I do consider the Warriors to be playoff contenders, especially because they're only 2.5 games back of the 6th seed, which is a guaranteed playoff spot, and they could avoid the play-in by getting that 6th seed. But even if they do get into the play-in, if they can win a game or two and get into the actual playoffs, the top 2 seeds in the Western Conference right now are the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and both of these teams are very inexperienced with their star players not having a lot of playoff experience. So if the Warriors can start firing on all cylinders and really get in a groove come playoff time, I think that they could be a hard out for either one of these teams. And I think that I would not be surprised if they could beat either the Thunder or the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if they can get past one of those teams and get a little bit of confidence and get their stride back, I do think that this team could easily make a run into the second round or even the Western Conference Finals at some point, especially with how open the Western Conference is right now. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. God bless you all, and let me know what you think in the comments below.